Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in my last video, a lot of you asked why am I wearing the same shirt. That's because I filmed a lot of these videos the same day. Because I did all of this in one night. That was my goal, is try to get a lot of things accomplished in one day. So here it is. My last video was how I cut my nails when I want to keep them on. And this video is going to show you how I remove my top coat. I'm going to do a filing routine before I do a fill. So we're going to do the removal, the filing for the reshape since I cut the length in this video. And then I will do an additional video showing the fill routine that I do. And I'm only going to do one hand in the fill routine because it does take me a while to do my fills. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to adjust the camera. We'll talk about it in a minute. Alright guys, so I'm trying to rearrange some things. Let me adjust this light. Alright, so I've been using the same e-file for a while. I'm going to try to bring it into the camera so you guys can see it. So I actually got this e-file off of Amazon. This is the main one that I use. I do have a travel e-file that I do use occasionally. So I'm going to change the bit on here, but we are going to use a carbide bit. If you don't know what a carbide bit is, the one I'm actually going to be using is going to be this cone carbide bit. It looks like this. So it's a bit that has little teeth. These nails have a very thick layer of top coat on them. So we are going to remove that. I will probably pull the sound out so you guys don't have to hear it, but I am going to remove the top coat and then we're going to do some reshaping. So I'm going to shut the audio off so you don't have to hear that, and then we'll be right back. All right? Alright, so now that I am done taking off all the bulk of the nail, I did go down to some where they were clear because I felt some weak points in the nail as I was filing. So I did find some lifting. So with the nipper, we're going to cut all that lifting out because I actually do not like using an e-file to do that because I usually transfer heat. So, alright, so that one didn't have very much. My thumb had a little bit, and then this finger over here has a little bit. It's not much for this finger either. Let's see, I'm trying to make sure I've got it all. Alright, so I think I got it all on this side. I did. I got all that one, and that was the only thing. Alright, so after I do that, the next thing we do is we are going to clean up the cuticles and file. I do a lot of my shaping and cleanup before I actually do my fill. That way I don't have as much filing to do afterwards. So for this, we're going to use an 80 grit file. Basically, since I cut them shorter, You have to smooth out the edges and thin them out as well. I am going to shut the audio off for that as well, so you don't have to hear this the whole time. Nobody wants to hear that. So I am going to shut the audio off and then do the filing, and then I will do the cuticle cleanup after that. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, so a lot of my filing is done, reshaping is done. Now we're going to do the cuticle cleanup. So I have 3 weeks of growth, so normally I would use a cuticle bit, but at this point I'm just going to use a fine carbide, not carbide, zebra band. These are just sanding bands. We're going to use a 240 grit. Come on, focus. So this is a 240 grit. It's super soft, very delicate. So that is what we're going to use to clean my cuticles up, because I have a lot of cuticle growth on my skin, on my nail beds. My cuticles grow very fast. So I have it on a really low speed, and we're just going to gently go around. This is just going to pull whatever cuticle growth, dead skin, right off that nail plate. Now this step is very, very important. If you don't do this step and you do a fill-in, you're almost guaranteed to have lifting. And I also pull my fingers, my skin back a little bit just to make sure there's like no additional skin in there or cuticle. And then I just keep doing that with all my fingers. And this is also the bit you want to use on the nail plate, because you don't want to use anything coarser than this. Anything coarser than this, and you can do some major damage to the actual nail itself. sure you pull that skin. So while I'm also doing this, I also gently push my cuticle back as well. So this is what I use to clean up the cuticle and push the cuticle back at the same time. So I'm just double checking to make sure I got all of it. Alright. And then we just go on to the other hand. So I am ambidextrous, which is why I'm able to do my other hand. But you still, like, I'm still not as efficient as I am with my dominant hand. So you always want to take your time, do this on a low speed. Because one, you don't want to transfer heat. That's very uncomfortable. Two, if it's not your dominant hand that you're using to control the Dremel, you could easily lose control and cause some skin injuries. So my right hand, which is this hand, I always have hypergrowth. I label it as hypergrowth. My cuticles just go crazy on this hand. And I think that's because I'm right hand dominant. And my right hand is always in stuff. And don't forget, wherever you had lifting and you cut off that acrylic, make sure you get that area too to make sure there's no leftover acrylic or skin. It's probably why it lifted there to begin with. It's because maybe I had a little skin there, or I didn't dry out all the oil from my nail plate before I did the fill. Because I have really oily nail beds to begin with. Because I always keep lotion and oils on my hands. So this pinky needs quite a bit of work because the nail itself has grown out quite a lot. Alright, so now that my cuticles are all clean, we have clean cuticles, we have perfect shape, now we have the shape that we want. So the next part, I'm going to do it in a separate video, will be the fill. So if you've made it this far, let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the way I do these. I'm trying to film it a little bit different because not everybody wants to see a 45-minute of me just filling in my nails. So the fill in process is next. So stay tuned. That part, we're going to get to it in just a moment. See you in a few minutes, guys. Hey guys, so I've had a series. I did a cut down. My last video was my filing, taking off my top coat, and doing my cuticle cleanup. So in this video, it's actually going to be the fill. So I'm going to shut the sound off. I'm going to add some music. And you guys can relax, get your Takis, get yourself something to drink. And we're going to do my fill-in. Alright guys.